总理，尊敬的杨雄市长、Freeland 部长、Morneau 部长、常州市长费高云、中国国际贸易促进委员会副主席王锦珍、Saint Adèle 市长 Robert Milot、上海市副秘书长孙继维、上海商务委主任尚玉英、罗昭辉大使、赵普大使、女士们、先生们，晚上好。我叫高世儒，我是加州贸易理事会的执行理事。Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, bonsoir. My name is Sarah Koudalakos, and I am the Executive Director of the Canada-China Business Council. And I have the pleasure of being your Master of Ceremonies tonight. Will everyone please rise for the national anthems? 请大家起立。现在播放中加两国国歌。Please be seated. 请就坐。I would first like to acknowledge some former and present elected public officials here tonight. We have in the audience with us some former federal ministers, the Honorable Jean Charest, the Honorable Stockwell Day, and the Honorable Perrin Beatty. We are also honored to have here tonight the current Minister of International Trade, the Honorable Chrystia Freeland, and the Minister of Finance, the Honorable Bill Morneau. We also have two members of Canada's Parliament, Gung Tan and Sean Chen. And I'd like to make a special acknowledgement to the Cirque Éloise, a Quebec-based circus troupe, which is in the midst of a very successful tour in China. Now I would like to introduce our head table. I will ask each of them to stand when introduced, and please hold your applause until the entire table has been introduced. 我现在介绍主桌，请大家等到全桌被介绍才掌声。Andre Desmarais, Honorary Chairman of the CCBC. Yang Xiong, Mayor, City of Shanghai. Ed Legzins, Senior VP and Managing Director, International BMO Financial Group. Zhang Xingsheng, Chairman, Forever Nature Capital Foundation. Roy Gorey, President and CEO, Manulife Financial Asia Limited. Ken Hu, Deputy Chairman and Rotating CEO, Huawei Technologies Company Limited. Shang Yuying, Chairwoman, Shanghai Municipal Commission of Commerce. Guy Saint-Jacques, Ambassador, Embassy of Canada in the People's Republic of China. Sun Jiwei, Deputy Secretary General, City of Shanghai. Peter Kreut, Chairman, CCBC. Luo Zhaohui, Ambassador, Embassy of the People's Republic of China in Canada. Zhang Xiaosong, Director General, Shanghai Foreign Affairs Office. Wang Jinzhen, Vice Chairman, CCPIT. Su-yi Kim, Head of Asia, CPP Investment Board. Ethan Sun, Chairman of Estuary Innovation Group. Tsai Xiliang, Vice President, CITIC Group. Danielle Lamar, President, Cirque du Soleil. Sophie Gregoire Trudeau. And the Right Honorable Justin Trudeau, Prime Minister of Canada, who will be introduced more formally later. Ladies and gentlemen, your head table. I would now like to call upon the Chairman of the Canada-China Business Council, Mr. Peter Kreut, to give the official welcome.
Prime Minister Trudeau, Mayor Yang Xiong, Nishamen, Shenshamen, Ministers, Members of Parliament, Mayors, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, Mesdames et Messieurs, bienvenue au Conseil commercial Canada-Chine pour la 38e gala de son année. We have a remarkable evening in front of us tonight, and we're especially delighted to be 800 strong at this event. We really hope you'll enjoy your evening. Ce soir, nous avons tous les niveaux du gouvernement représentés, comme Sarah vient de nous mentionner, fédéral, provincial, municipal, et du Canada et de la Chine. I want to start, and I'm sure you're waiting for this, by thanking our many sponsors for this evening. Power Corporation is delighted to be the diamond sponsor, and we are good company with our platinum sponsors, BMO Financial, Bombardier, Cirque du Soleil, CPP Investment Board, Huawei, Estuary Innovation Group, and Manulife. Thanks also to our gold sponsors, China Maple Leaf Education, Respond, Royal Bank of Canada, SNC-Lavalin, and Soprema. Beyond these, we have many others who are supporting us, and you may recognize their names on the displays on the left and the right side of the walls of the ballroom. We are very honored that both the Mayor of Shanghai and our Prime Minister have agreed to address us tonight. They will speak shortly. I truly hope that you will enjoy a special event brought to you by Danielle Lamar of the Cirque du Soleil, one of Canada's great pride. Une fierté du Canada, le Cirque du Soleil nous amène une présentation. Ils sont également associés à une compagnie chinoise qui est la fierté de la Chine et très dynamique, la compagnie Fosun. Fosun is a great dynamic and proud partner in China of the Cirque, and a wonderful example of partnership and of common interest. And I look forward to seeing another national pride, Big Mountain, as he's called in China, Dashan, to introduce it. 20 years ago, Canada's Prime Minister was received at a CCBC gala dinner just like this in Shanghai, in the presence of China's Prime Minister. But in 20 years, China and Shanghai has changed. In fact, Shanghai is unrecognizable. And we can congratulate Mayor Yang and his colleagues for Shanghai's incredible accomplishments. At that time, Pudong was barely an idea on paper. Deng Xiaoping said he should have encouraged Pudong to happen a little earlier to help foster Shanghai's growth. most of us would say that the pace of growth was dizzying, but Deng had set an objective, and that objective was to raise the GDP per capita of all of China to $2,000 US. He was a man who sought results. I know, and Canadians know, that our Prime Minister is also seeking results. When, on his first day as Prime Minister, he insisted that Canada have a report card on the quality of life for Canadians through the return of the long-form census, a self-imposed measure of his much-anticipated goals. Making China a better place and making Canada a better place is our common goal. How we get there is a function of our historical and cultural realities, which are rich in their diversity. While we have different regimes, we can still agree on the big picture of improving the quality of life of our citizens. This takes vision, determination, and clear goals, and I look forward to learning how the leadership of our two great countries can forge a relationship that pays dividends to all our citizens. We at the CCBC look forward to learning about your Canada-China plan and stand ready to support it. Je suis fier du rôle que le CCBC a joué. I'm proud of the privileged role that the CCBC has played in furthering the Canada-China relationship, led by predecessors like my friend and colleague Andre Desmarais, the honorary chair of the CCBC. Today's policy conference convened 480 executives to share their experiences and best practices. It might surprise a few that we devoted a fair amount of time to corporate social responsibility in Canada and in China, sharing best practices of each. This builds on the CSR work we have already consolidated onto our website for all to benefit from. But there is much more that we can do under your enlightened leadership. Tonight, we get to hear from those who will be setting the direction of our countries. With that in mind, I am now honored to call upon His Excellency Mayor Yang Xiong of Shanghai to deliver his remarks. Mayor Yang has a background in economics and planning, with much experience in the Shanghai Development Planning Commission. Mayor Yang's experience is perfect for the audience tonight, as it bridges public life as well as business life, as he served as president of chairman of Shanghai Airline Company before moving to the city government in the early 2000s. Mayor Yang, c'est un grand plaisir de vous avoir parmi nous ce soir et nous sommes reconnaissants que vous acceptiez de nous adresser ce soir. Thank you very much for accepting to speak to us, Mayor, tonight.
尊敬的贾斯汀·特鲁多总理阁下及夫人，尊敬的各位部长、各位大使，尊敬的理事会各位主席、女士们、先生们、朋友们，大家晚上好。很高兴参加加州贸易理事会这次选择在上海召开年会。在此，我代表上海市人民政府向来华访问并出席20国集团领导人杭州峰会的特鲁多总理阁下表示诚挚的欢迎，向各位嘉宾长期以来给予上海的关心和支持表示衷心的感谢。加拿大和中国虽远隔重洋，但中加两国和两国人民有着悠久的交往历史。特别是近年来，中加经贸合作发展迅速，中国已经成为加拿大第2大贸易伙伴。作为中国改革开放的重要窗口，上海与加拿大在经贸、科技、文化等领域开展了富有成效的合作。 上海分别与加拿大的魁北克省、蒙特利尔市结为友好城市，双方互动密切。加拿大彭巴迪、红利金融等企业还是上海市长国际企业家咨询会议的重要成员。上海与加拿大的互利合作正呈现出良好的态势和广阔的前景。加中贸易理事会是双方经贸合作的桥梁和纽带。我们希望以此次年会再互举办为契机，进一步深化双方经贸投资合作。我们将创造更好的环境、更便利的条件，支持上海企业参与加拿大发展，热忱欢迎加拿大企业参与上海自贸试验区和科创中心建设，为促进中加两国友好合作做出新的贡献。最后，预祝特鲁多总理一行访华成功，也祝各位嘉宾在上海生活愉快，身体健康。谢谢大家。
Mayor Yang, on behalf of the CCBC, thank you for joining us tonight. We are honored by your presence. Now, to introduce the Prime Minister, please welcome the Honorable Chrystia Freeland, Canada's Minister of International Trade.
Thank you very much, Sarah. It's great to see you again here. And I have to say, I'm afraid the podiums still are a little too high. 大家好，我很高兴来到上海。C'est un grand plaisir d'être parmi vous. C'est ma deuxième visite à Shanghai cet été et j'ai déjà eu plusieurs réunions intéressantes avec vous. Comme nous tous savons, la Chine est un partenaire très important pour le Canada. Il est certain que dans notre vie, la Chine sera la plus grande économie dans le monde. Il y a déjà 225 millions de Chinois qui font partie de la classe moyenne, donc c'est un marché énorme. Nous, les Canadiens et les Canadiennes, sommes très chanceux d'avoir comme Premier ministre le très honorable Justin Trudeau. À cause de son histoire personnelle, il est la personne idéale pour renforcer nos relations avec la Chine. But the Trudeau name and history is the least of the many strengths our Prime Minister brings to this essential relationship. Now, the guy is my boss, and he's sitting right in front of me. So it's not going to be surprising for anyone here that I'm going to say some nice things about him. But what I thought I could offer a little bit more novel is 3 insights as someone who has had the really great honor of working with the Prime Minister for 3 years into the particular leadership strengths he brings to this essential relationship. The first one is powerful strategic vision. I saw that, first of all, just over 3 years ago when I was a very happy, I have to say, journalist living and working with my family in Manhattan. The Prime Minister had just become leader of the Liberal Party. In case people have forgotten, we were the 3rd party in Parliament. Lots of really smart journalists were writing the obituaries of liberalism in Canada. But he painted for me then a picture of the almost impossible, how he would rebuild the party and he would rebuild the liberal idea in Canada and how he would become Prime Minister. All my friends thought I was crazy, but I believed him, and he was right. And that same strategic vision underlies how the Prime Minister approaches the Canada-China relationship. And that is really the core theme of our visit here, and that is so powerful and so important. The second tremendous leadership quality that the Prime Minister brings to this relationship is understanding that it is a relationship. Yes, this is about geopolitics, but it's about human beings. And I saw at our meetings in Beijing, at our meeting with the Premier and the President, a very powerful moment that the Prime Minister created. When his father was Prime Minister, he gave to Mao Zedong a special medal cast in honor of Norman Bethune. And the Prime Minister took the time and thought in advance and found only 50 of these medals were cast in Canada. The Prime Minister found the 2 medals that remain and gave them one each as gifts to the Premier and the President. It's thinking like that, gestures like that are the foundation of powerful human relations. And then the final leadership quality, which I have to say I see every day in government, is that the Prime Minister never forgets why he's doing it. And he never lets us forget his team, why he does it all. Sometimes in cabinet meetings, some of us can get carried away with highfalutin, abstract, complex policy ideas. I have to admit that happens to me sometimes. And the Prime Minister, because he's a very polite guy, politely says, you know what, hang on. What is this all about? And for him, what this is all about is middle-class Canadians. Every day, he wakes up and works hard for the Canadian middle class. And that is why he is here in China, and that is why he is here to talk to you all, because your work ultimately is about bringing jobs and prosperity to the Canadian middle class. So I have to tell you all, it is a tremendous privilege, it is a tremendous honor for me to work for le très honorable Justin Trudeau, and it's an honor for me to introduce him to you here this evening. Merci. 谢谢.
Just adjust these a bit. Thank you, Christia, for that kind introduction. And thank you also for achieving important progress for Canadian canola farmers, including your father on his farm in Peace River, Alberta. The work that you've done over these past few days, indeed over these past many months, has been extraordinary on so many files in helping Canadians and helping build relationships around the world. Merci pour tout ce que tu fais, Christia. It's wonderful to be here tonight. It's wonderful to see so many friends in the room tonight. People I didn't expect to see here who've come from Canada, people I've met, Chinese investors present in Canada who've gathered here tonight. This is a wonderful celebration of a tremendous friendship that stretches back through the decades, but mostly will stretch forward decades and decades into the future. I want to start by thanking the Canada-China Business Council, its directors, benefactors, staff, and volunteers for putting on this tremendous event. I'd also like to acknowledge 3 of my many friends who are here with us tonight. The first is my old friend Raymond Chan, who in 2004 became Canada's first Chinese-Canadian cabinet minister. Thank you for being here tonight, Raymond. The next is Geng Tan, who's also here with us tonight and a current member of Parliament. Geng was born in Hunan and just last fall was elected as Canada's very first member of Parliament from mainland China. We also have Sean Chen here, a strong young member of our Chinese-Canadian caucus. And although Arnold Chan couldn't be with us here tonight, I know he wishes he could. Indeed, our Parliament is lucky to have Chinese Canadians in all political parties representing communities across Canada in the House of Commons. Now, Sophie, my wife, my daughter Ella Grace, and I have been in China for a little more than 2 days, but already we've been deeply touched by the incredible hospitality shown to us and indeed to our entire Canadian delegation. So thank you once again for your warm and generous welcome. It means a tremendous amount to us, and we're honored to be your guests today, including the guests of His Excellency the Mayor of Shanghai. Thank you all for your welcome. Cette visite a lieu à un moment spécial dans l'histoire du Canada et de l'histoire de la Chine. En fait, un moment crucial de l'histoire de notre planète. Et c'est donc en gardant cela en tête que je veux partager avec vous les raisons de cette visite et ce que j'espère accomplir au cours de notre séjour ici. Tout d'abord, cette visite a pour but de renouer et d'approfondir cette relation entre le Canada et la Chine. First and foremost, this visit is about renewing and deepening the relationship between the people of Canada and the people of China. As you know, it's a relationship that historically has been close and warm, but more recently has perhaps been a little more distant or unfocused. So I want to be as clear as I possibly can be on this point. China matters to Canada. China's growth, its environmental progress, its economic success, the role it plays in the world, and the progress it makes on governance and the rule of law, all of these matter to Canadians, and they matter to me. I see 3 reasons why a stronger relationship between Canada and China benefits both countries. The first has to do with strengthening and growing the middle class. In Canada, we know that the heart of our economy rests with our middle class and all those working hard to join it. Ce sont les gens qui se lèvent tôt à tous les jours, reconduisent leurs enfants à l'école, utilisent les transports en commun pour se rendre au travail et travaillent fort pour joindre les 2 bouts pour leur famille. Ils n'en demandent pas beaucoup. En fait, si vous leur parlez, et j'ai passé beaucoup de temps avec des milliers de Canadiens dans des communautés partout au pays, vous verrez que tout ce qu'ils demandent en retour pour leur travail acharné, c'est une vraie chance de réussir. Ils demandent juste d'avoir l'opportunité de laisser à leurs enfants un monde meilleur que celui qu'ils ont hérité de leurs propres parents. That same spirit, that same drive to do a little better and to be a little better exists everywhere in China as well. And that's why it's so important to be very clear with people about what a stronger relationship means for our respective economies. For Canadians, it means that our businesses will have greater access to the large and rapidly growing Chinese and Asian economies. That means a bigger market for quality Canadian food, like beef and pork, of course, but also for lobster and cherries. It means more customers for Canadian financial services companies and more clients for design and engineering firms. The rapid and wide-scale structural change now taking place in China's economy also means that trade and investment opportunities will continue to emerge and evolve. Some of the clean technology now being developed in both countries was not on anyone's radar a generation ago. And if we can't take advantage of tomorrow's opportunities, if we don't work hard on building good relationships today. Because we know that when we do build strong and resilient relationships, when we give Canadian businesses more opportunities to succeed, they will succeed. That means more better paying jobs for Canadians, and when Canadian companies partner with Chinese companies, it means more and better paying jobs here in China as well. And so when I say that a stronger relationship between our two countries will benefit both countries, I'm thinking very much of the ways in which we can work together as partners to create jobs and strengthen the middle class in our communities and in yours. Second, a stronger relationship between Ottawa and Beijing, one that strengthens and grows the middle class, will encourage economic growth as it opens doors and creates new opportunities for both Canadian and Chinese businesses to succeed. A stronger relationship between Ottawa and Beijing leads to better opportunities between Montreal and Shanghai, Vancouver and Hong Kong, Waterloo and Hangzhou, and so forth. And not just for the large multinational firms like Manulife and Huawei, but also for small and medium-sized businesses like Nova Scotia's Just Nova, which, thanks to a joint venture agreement, will be able to build a local manufacturing facility for wild blueberry products. Or David Bromley Engineering, based in BC, which will have a chance to deploy its innovative water treatment technology in northern Alberta, thanks to private sector Chinese investors. And on the research front, we have deals like the one signed with the Sichuan Bohong Group to establish a joint auto engineering research lab at the University of Windsor. Les opportunités existent. Elles sont réelles et considérables pour des emplois. De bons emplois bien rémunérés au Canada et en Chine. Et pas juste dans les domaines traditionnels comme l'industrie des ressources naturelles ou encore le secteur agroalimentaire, mais bien dans des nouveaux domaines comme celui de la technologie propre. The opportunities that exist are real and significant. They don't just exist on paper. They are real jobs. As good, well-paying jobs in Canada and in China. And not just in traditional industries such as natural resources or agriculture, but also in newer sectors like clean tech. Now, I know that this room is filled with smart, enterprising people who get things done. But I also know that your work is easier when there is commitment at the highest level to building and nurturing strong, stable, long-term relationships between governments. And that's exactly what we're here to do. China's leadership plays a central role in driving global economic growth. Any economic strategy that ignores China or that treats the valuable relationship as anything less than critically important is not just short-sighted, it's irresponsible. And as I have said, the benefits of a revitalized relationship go both ways. Canada is an outstanding place to invest. Canada is recognized as the best country in the G20 to do business. We're home to the soundest banking system in the world, and we have a workforce that is highly educated and willing to work hard. That's why smart investors, like the ones helping to create opportunities and jobs through Just Nova, David Bromley Engineering, and dozens upon dozens of other examples, are turning to Canada, because they know a good deal when they see one. And third, a stronger relationship will allow us to work together more effectively in a global context. What we can accomplish by working together will always exceed what we can get by going it alone. Think of the ways in which our cultural ties are deepened and strengthened by the experiences of young Chinese students who come to Canada to learn in our universities, or by the exchange of tourists. Every year, 500,000 Chinese tourists visit Canada, and it may surprise some of you to learn that similar numbers of Canadians come here every year. And we're looking forward to seeing those numbers climb with our announcement that 2018 will be the year dedicated to Canada-China tourism. Although we're encouraging you all to get a head start, because next year is Canada's 150th birthday, and in true Canadian fashion, we're throwing open our doors and inviting the world to come celebrate with us. But of course, tourism is just one example. Another example, one that truly has the potential to affect the lives of every person on the planet, is climate change. Climate change is a global challenge, one that demands a global response. As signatories to the Paris Agreement on Climate Change, Canada and China have committed to both address the challenges that come with climate change and embrace the opportunities that it presents. We have before us a chance to build a clean growth economy that will help to fight climate change while creating good, well-paying jobs for our citizens. Just as Canada will look to ways to lead the clean energy transition, we know that China will do the same. And it is our hope that in doing so, we will take advantage of this historic opportunity to work together, to invest in each other, to build in our shared knowledge, and to grow our economies in ways that are as clean as they are competitive. Finally, I think that there are ways in which a stronger relationship makes it easier for our two countries to have regular, frank discussions on issues like good governance, human rights, and the rule of law. Freedom of expression is a true Canadian value, one protected by our Charter of Rights and Freedoms. You see, Canada has succeeded culturally, politically, economically because of our diversity, not in spite of it. That message was central to the platform that got us elected and has remained at the heart of how we have governed, and it was a message that I carried into my meetings this week, including those with President Xi and Premier Li. I shared with them my strong conviction that acceptance of diverse perspectives will strengthen China just as it has Canada. In a world of rapid change, it is a diversity of ideas and the free ability to express them that drives positive change. And I remind everyone that as a country that has seen firsthand the benefits of free expression and good governance, Canada encourages China to do more to promote and protect human rights. In the global village, we all have a stake in what happens here. The success of the world is inexorably linked to China's success. And I know that these are not easy conversations to have, but they are necessary ones. And as important as it is to me that our government seeks greater economic cooperation with China, so too must we promote the values that make us good economic partners and good friends. Friendship should be open, honest, and constructive. In the end, what I'm after, on behalf of 36 million Canadians, is a friendship built to last. You see, we're Canadians. We travel with our values, and we don't hesitate to share them whenever and wherever we see opportunities. And actually, there's an opportunity here tonight. Gentlemen, it's 2016. We need more women at this head table. So as you see, the future of the Canada-China relationship is one that I'm very passionate about. C'est important pour moi parce que je crois sincèrement qu'une relation renouvelée entre le Canada et la Chine est une bonne chose pour tout le monde. Parce qu'une relation plus forte et plus stable peut aider à renforcer et à faire croître la classe moyenne. Parce qu'une classe moyenne prospère peut, à son tour, encourager une croissance économique plus grande et plus propre. Et parce qu'une relation plus forte permettra à nos deux pays de travailler ensemble de façon à satisfaire non seulement nos propres intérêts, mais les besoins de toute notre planète. Now, before I finish, I want to take a moment to applaud the Canada-China Business Council again for all the hard work it has done in good times and in more challenging times to foster this most important relationship. It truly is a relationship that stretches back generations. Back to my father, who visited this beautiful country many times, including during his time as Prime Minister with me in tow, because he recognized that a relationship with China was important. Well, not for the first time and not for the last. He was right about that. But before that, to Dr. Norman Bethune, whose selflessness and generosity may have been rooted in his Canadian origins, but found their highest expression right here in China. And of course, our business connections reach back further still to the Bank of Montreal, Canada's first bank, which was the first to do business with China just 3 months after it was founded in 1818. In other words, Canada and China have a long history together. It's a history we should honor, even as we seek to forge new paths together. I hope you will continue to work hard to help businesses in Canada and in China seize the opportunities for greater partnership that now lie before us. Because in the end, we are all served by taking the long view. I've always believed that the purpose of leadership is to represent the future to the past and to the present. History has a way of making the most controversial decisions obvious, but that does not diminish the courage of leaders of previous generations. And now, 45 years down the road, the world is self-evidently better off because they worked so hard to bring China into the global system. This morning, I had the opportunity to hold my daughter's hand along the Great Wall of China. Let me tell you, when you find yourself walking along a centuries-old wall with your 7-year-old daughter, the least you can do is think a few decades down the road. And then the answers to the bigger questions become clear. Do we want a world built on diversity or division? One that prospers by expanding trade and creating growth, or one that makes us all poorer because we've thrown up walls and retreated behind them? One where we work hard and work together to overcome our differences and build on common ground, or one where we keep our distance from people whose history and culture differ from our own? Well, we're going through a period of enormous change, my friends, in China, in Canada, and everywhere in between. No country, no business, indeed no person will be unaffected. The question before us is therefore whether we engage and actively work to choose and shape and seize our future, or fearfully and passively let it happen around us. Well, I know that you all are here because you've already answered that question the right way. It is the choice previous generations would expect of us and for which our children will be thankful. We have a lot of work ahead of us, my friends, and I, for one, couldn't be more looking forward to it. Merci beaucoup. Thank you. 谢谢.
Prime Minister Trudeau, the Mayor of Shanghai, Excellencies, friends, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of CCBC and all our distinguished Canadian and Chinese guests here tonight, I'd like to thank the Prime Minister for joining us this evening and for having shared his thoughts on the important friendship between our two nations. I think the Prime Minister is an inspiring person who has, I think, shown us that short-term is not the way to go and long-term thinking always goes. As the Prime Minister said to us tonight, his family roots in this country go back quite a long way. And he has also told us that relationships are critical to having countries be able to discuss things in a forthcoming, intelligent, frank, and honest fashion. In fact, my family roots began here in China when the late Prime Minister Trudeau, his father, encouraged my father to form a Canadian delegation here. And that is where the Canada-China Business Council was established on that mission in 1978. So if we're here tonight, it really is because of the Trudeaus. So, Prime Minister, thank you very much for all that your family has done. I'm certain that our fathers would be very pleased to see the continuity of their efforts here tonight, and as evidenced by the enthusiasm and hope radiating from faces in this room. For my part, it's an emotional moment for me as I realize my continued commitment to China is now being passed on to a third generation. I'm going to pass that to my son today, my son Olivier. So with the Prime Minister of Canada here, who has stretched 2 generations, and with his lovely wife, Sophie, we're very much looking forward to welcoming Prime Minister Ella Grace Trudeau back to China in a few decades from now, and we hope that that will certainly happen. Prime Minister, tonight you reaffirmed the important relationship we share with our second largest trading partner. He has made it clear that China matters to Canadians. The Prime Minister just told us again and the world that Canada is back. China is a priority and our countries are open for business, for engagement with China on cultural, social issues that concern both our countries. For one, I am optimistic that this historic visit will pave the way to a new era of Canada-China relations that will culminate, I hope, in a free trade agreement between our two great nations. Prime Minister, on behalf of the Canada-China Business Council and the Canadian business community, and I can say the Chinese business community too, because they're very happy about this relationship being back on track. You coming here tonight is of vital importance, and it is so important to this relationship. I cannot thank you enough, and all members want to thank you and your dear wife, Sophie, and your daughter for having taken the time to come and visit this country and be here with us tonight. Thank you so very, very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, now please enjoy your dinner. Bon appétit, 请用餐。